Welcome back, everyone, to the Chip Lunch podcast, and it's a very special one today because we are here as well, I'm going to start again. Welcome back to the Chip Lunch podcast. It's a different location or different third space studio currently in Miranda Congregational Church. We're just trying out all the rooms, really, aren't we, Ethan?
Yeah,
welcome.
we are. We're just kind of hopping between, seeing what brick feels like.
Yeah, brick.
Is brick our vibe? I don't know.
It's pretty solid, mate.
Brick and
it's
purple.
pretty good.
Is this
Brick and purple.
Is the?
I don't think it.
What do you think about this? I think that someone wears a lot of purple. I like to call them a perpetrator. Do you think that's funny or not?
I think it's excellent.
Yeah.
I think it's very good.
I've said that a number of times.
Really?
People don't think it's funny at all.
Oh, I don't think it's funny, but I think it's excellent. Like,
Okay.
I'm not gonna give you the ha 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 reaction that you're probably looking for, but I do enjoy it.
Right.
Don't you call them like the purple people eater?
Yeah, it's kind of like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, like you're a perpetrator, you're a purple people.
Yeah.
Like that. Welcome, Macy, to the
Hi.
podcast.
Welcome.
It's great to have you on. Now, just before we get to you, Macy,
Yeah.
I should address a situation that's going on right now that Ethan is currently on his computer.
I'm paying heaps of attention
Because what are you doing? I think we might need to have regular updates throughout the...
Well, it'll be the regular
podcast.
update will be next update in 4 seconds.
4
One.
seconds? That's good.
I didn't get into the Taylor Swift Eras Tour tickets. The resale has come out today, and not resale. Yeah, the second lot of sales have come out today, and we didn't get it last time, so I'm going again.
So is this for her? She's coming back? Or
No,
she's-
it's the same show. She just didn't
That's
release
it.
all the tickets last time.
Do you think Taylor makes all these decisions?
I reckon she makes a lot of them. I reckon she's
She's
probably
just-
not necessarily these decisions, but I reckon she's a pretty business savvy woman.
Okay.
She knows her way around that.
Cool. But have you seen her latest romantic involvement as an NFL player?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you know anything about NFL before Taylor Swift, Macy?
I'm not a massive Taylor Swift person.
Okay. Me
Love
either.
her music. Think it's great. She's, great person, but I just don't understand the entire hype around her and,
Interesting.
great music, but just
Yeah. The
massive fan base around it.
It's
what do they
ludicrous
call,
amounts of hype.
Why do they call her mother? That's what I don't understand.
I don't know.
That's a bit weird.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I find that a bit odd.
I've watched her documentary. I thought that was great.
Was it? I haven't watched it.
Yeah, that was good. But no, Travis Kelce and her, and then everyone's there's so much drama around it. I was like,
Is there? I
Is
think
there?
she just
I think
likes
just-
a guy,
yeah,
and
just
they
leave her
just happen
alone.
to be with.
Do you think that's true?
In saying that,
Do you think-
in saying that, my favorite thing on the internet right now is all the conspiracy theories
Oh.
around their relationship.
Like what?
Well, people reckon that it's all a marketing stunt.
I think part of it
that
is.
is
Yeah.
that is not for the way you think. It's a PR stunt. Sorry, not marketing stunt. That is to cover up previous things that have been done. So, for example,
In Taylor's career or
yes,
Kelsey's career?
yes, in Taylor's. So, for a while, if you looked up Taylor Swift jets or jet on the internet, what would happen was a top article would come up. The top article that would come up would be that she once bought the most expensive private jet
Oh, really?
ever. And when questioned about it, she was like, "Oh, I just want to have something to bring my poor friends on." And she said that as a throwaway line, but got heaps of hate for it. And so
Really?
people reckon that
Yeah.
now, if you look up Taylor Swift jet, you get this whole relationship thing because he plays for the Jets,
yeah.
He doesn't play for the Jets.
doesn't he?
He plays for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'll
I'll tell you all about the Kelsey side.
yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, see, they have a podcast, him and his brother. So him and his brother both play in the NFL.
Yeah.
His brother, Jason, plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. And Travis, plays for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm.
But they have a podcast together they do every week.
Yeah.
And this is where it all started was Travis went and saw Taylor Swift at Kansas City Chiefs Stadium, which is called Arrowhead.
Yep.
And he said, yeah, Taylor Swift is amazing. On the podcast with his
Yeah.
brother, he says, Taylor Swift is amazing. Hey, come check me play. And
Yep.
apparently that's how it started.
Really?
That's
I
kind of
believe
cute.
so. Well, is it? So I wonder if it is. Well, maybe it's not a conspiracy. Maybe it's, let's see if this works. Oh, it's working. Let's continue it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who knows? But now she's partying. She's always in the private
In
boxes,
the boxes.
Yeah.
with Kelsey's mum.
That's cute.
And also,
That's
see, it's
pretty wholesome.
interesting. You're like, that's cute. I think
That's
I think it's
cute.
funny. And she also is spending time with Pat Mahomes' wife. And Pat Mahomes is the best player in the NFL.
Wow.
But he also plays for the Kansas City Chiefs as well.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm bummed that my whole thing has been thrown out the window. This shows what getting all your information from
Reddit?
No, Instagram.
Oh, Instagram.
Yeah.
Even. Okay.
That's all I had.
Right. So, latest update on the tickets. You're still in queue. In the queue.
I have very little hope.
Oh,
But that's
that's
okay.
a sad way to start the podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, wow.
Well, no, but there's hope in other things, like the quality of this podcast. It's going to be great.
And Jesus.
And Jesus.
Yeah, sorry,
I was
Jesus.
like waiting for that one. I was like,
That's true.
when's Jesus going to
is-
come up?
Yeah, Jesus and we'll get there. But actually, before we get to Jesus, usually we ask this question: Maisie, how do you like your hot chips?
I love my hot chips with chicken salt.
No.
Excellent.
And really, that's about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Just no sauce or anything? Just chicken salt?
No, just chicken salt.
See, I find that would I reckon I can get around chicken salt a little bit with tomato sauce, but I don't think I
No.
don't think I like it chicken salt on chips on their own. I just don't think I can do that.
I'm not like a massive sauce person, like in general.
Mm.
So I like love a good chicken salt.
Why is that? So, like for example, my son doesn't like sauce.
Yeah.
Why do you not like sauce?
It's not like I don't like it, but there's some people like we would go away with people and they like would drown every meal in sauce. I was like, why?
Do you think that sometimes like people learn as kids they just put heaps of sauce on
Yeah.
it? Because
Yeah.
tomato
Yeah.
sauce especially has got
So
a ton of sugar in it,
Yeah.
Heaps.
and it's like, oh, I don't want to eat this, so I'm going to cover it
Yeah,
in sauce.
exactly. And that was like it. So I do like a bit of sauce sometimes, but I just would never drown anything in sauce. Like,
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it.
I agree with that. I think you also, with chips, is better dip because then you can control the amount of
Yes.
sauce rather than drowning it in sauce or not having enough.
And it doesn't get soggy. Like
Yes.
people who put like sauce on top, like if you get like one of those like HSPs, like the house snack packs, and they've got all the sauce on it.
Yep.
All the chips that like just get really soggy because there's so much sauce and like
And the sauce has
stuff
stayed on it
yeah.
too.
And so you like pick it up and it's flimsy and you're like, well, where's
Yeah.
the structural integrity of my chip?
Yeah, exactly.
But I think by the time you get to the chips in a HSP, you're too far gone anyway. Like
Yeah.
you've smashed through the sauce and then the meat and then the cheese
Yeah.
and then you get to the chips and you're like, I'm
Yeah.
in a state of euphoria anyway now. So
Yeah.
I may as well just keep going. It doesn't matter how soggy the chips are.
I'm not sure if I've ever had a HS.
Oh, you really need to try
It's a good
one.
I probably should try one.
Yeah, would recommend.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
It's good fun.
Any particular, do you have any memory associated with having hot chips anywhere?
They're like right near my primary school. Like there's this like place and it's like called Delish and everyone would go there consistently.
Like after school?
After school, before school, like we just all thrived off these chips. They're so overpriced because, well, there's nothing like else in Lillipilly, so you just like go to the chip place. And that's where everyone went, and that's where everyone met up and stuff. So
Yeah.
like just getting like a large chips and like sitting at the park with all your friends, like
Oh, that's pretty cool.
after sport and stuff. Yeah,
Oh yeah, like a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Sport. Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
That's cool. Like, because Friday was just primary school.
yeah,
Did you have Friday afternoon sport, Ethan?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to
Yeah,
check
we
if
did.
it was
Yeah.
the same vibe.
Yeah.
But it was like you knew it was a short day.
Yeah.
And then you had sport, and
Yeah.
then you're like,
yeah,
and like if I played cricket or football for the teams, you go somewhere and then you come back early, and then you're like, oh, we're going home early, and then to go and get some chips after that. That's nice.
The dream.
exactly.
You're right though. There's not much else in Lillipilly, is there?
There's really not.
There's that set of shops. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That set of shops near the primary school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it?
That is
Is
it.
it?
There's some.
Literally,
There's a shop
chips-
Yeah.
prior, but that's
Yeah.
kind of Carring Bar South, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
okay.
chips, bottle shop,
Yep.
overpriced vegan place, like that, and that's all we got.
There used to be a
Excellent.
video shop there.
Really?
Yeah, but that obviously
Not anymore.
the
Yeah.
internet put paid to that.
Yeah.
Now, we usually ask the next question: how did you become a Christian?
Mm.
But one of the reasons that we got Macy on the podcast is you have just finished the HSC. So I thought it'd be cool to get your hot takes
Hot takes.
straight after the HSC before we get into the story
Yeah,
of
good
how you
idea.
became a
I like
Christian.
Sweet.
So,
Mix it up a little.
second question is, how was the HSC for you this year?
It was really, really like full on.
Mm.
I think it's just such a big year. Like, not only are you sitting like all these exams that will assess like a whole year's worth of content, in like 3 hours, you're also like finishing school. So you're going through like the motions of like end of year stuff, like markup week and stuff, but you're also still studying, and you're also like people are turning 18, all these like big life milestones are happening, but you're also still studying.
And you got to try and stay focused and do a good job
Yeah.
in your exams and stuff.
And like, and just keeping the momentum up. Like after trials, because trials is like a week, and it's like the whole of the HSC exams squashed into like a week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like early term 4 for year 12, so term 3.
Yeah.
But to keep your momentum up after that is just insane, because you're like smashed. Everyone comes out of it sick because you're so exhausted that your immune system's just like in the bin. So everyone's just so sick.
Yeah.
You're all just like struggling, but you also like have to just keep going because like 7 weeks later you got HSC.
Gotta go again.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone.
What how did you feel that you went in your exam? So it'd been like a week and a half since you finished, or something like that?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel in yourself about it? That's what I'm asking.
I think I definitely thought I could do better. Like looking at it a year ago, I was like, oh, I can do like really well. I've got the potential to do this. And then it was a really, really hard year for me. And so like, it's a hard year for everyone doing the HSC, but it was just like especially hard. So I think the capacity that I was at, I did the very best I could at the capacity I was at. And I'm really proud of that. And it was like, it was just really hard. Like, you know, you just have to keep going. And like, even if because I sat the modern history exam and it was 3 hours, finished at 5:30 on a Friday.
Super sore hand from writing heaps in modern history.
Oh my goodness.
I remember doing that.
Yeah.
I reckon so. On this finger, there's still a little bump,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I got
look.
that. I got that during the HSC.
Oh, did
and
you?
it hasn't gone away.
Sorry.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's
Sticking
why
my
I
root
put it
finger
up like that.
Yeah, I mean that's how I write. Probably that's
Well,
what
Yeah.
but I think that's what's like. I didn't have one before that though, and before the HSC, and so now I've got this little callus.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is my little writing bump. That is
But
my
sorry, you
eternal
finished.
memory.
You finished modern history, Macy.
And so it was basically, HSC exam started on Wednesday. Wednesday was like paper 1 English. Thursday, paper 2 English. And then Friday was modern history.
Oh,
And I was
that's a lot of
so
writing.
So much
smashed.
writing.
So much writing, so many quotes, so much in my head. I was, and so I get out and I'm like, oh my goodness, that was not my best. Like the questions weren't too bad, but it was just like, I just didn't have enough to write about because I was just like so gone, so
Well,
exhausted.
there's so
fair
much
enough.
to try and recall.
Yeah.
It's so much to recall.
Yeah.
And I knew that modern history was not my best subject. So if I was like prioritizing things, I was just like, half a unit won't count, or like 1 unit won't count of something. So half modern history probably won't count. So I was like, okay, I'll try, but not as hard as I will for my other subjects. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
But I got out and I got in my car and I just like cried on the way home. And then like someone beeped at me because I was like in the wrong lane. But I wasn't. I was in the right lane, but like it just goes both ways.
Yeah.
And he wanted to go the other way. And I was just like I'm sobbing at this point, driving home, and this man's
Just do the HSC.
I'm doing the exams. Like, did you have to write about the Arab-Israeli conflict? No.
Is that what you did modern history on Arab-Israeli conflict? Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
And especially
Yeah.
prescient for what's going on
Very.
right now. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
It's it was really intense to learn about.
Yeah, I think I did in Nazi Germany for modern history.
We did that one too. And Nazi Germany, Arab-Israeli conflict, Stalinist Russia,
Wow, this is good.
and
I would have enjoyed this.
Yeah, and the apartheid in South Africa.
Oh wow.
See that? Okay.
One
so
of my favorite topics.
I think my school did a really good job in picking what we learnt for modern history because it was like,
Or it's just what the teacher wanted to do. But yeah.
well, the teacher chose well.
Yes.
Because the teacher chose like almost all of them were different German-centric World War II things.
Yeah, right.
And so you get your quotes and all your references and it was all the same. Like
that's
just the
cool.
same people, the same names, the same kind
Yeah.
of quotes. So like character study of a German dude,
Yeah.
Albert Speer. You do
Yeah, I did Albert Speer.
you do World War II conflict. You do Germany and Russia. You do
Yeah.
the Weimar, and then that's
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's similar. I think.
yeah. I think that they only changed the curriculum after me, so you would have had the same as me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is such a shame that it was all just everywhere. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The one that you said
Really
that
fun
you
though,
like
but-
you with, so you did 11 units, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So the one that for me was my physics exam. It was so bad.
Yeah.
It was my last exam,
Nice.
and I
Oh.
was just toast. And it was a 3-hour exam of physics, where like I remember, I think I've already said like year 11 physics was mad. I really enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
year 12 physics was just
Oh gosh.
terrible. Like I just couldn't grasp it. And then all these questions that I'm not great at maths as well. So
Yeah,
then it
right.
had all those questions, and I knew I can't do any of this. It was that bad. That was the unit I ended up dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I ended up dropping my English unit, not because I wasn't very good at English, but because I didn't read one of the books. And I was like coasting on having not read this book, and it
Yeah.
was fine. It was fine. It was fine. I was doing really well. And then I got to the HSC exam,
Yeah.
and they threw a question at me that was just a fat paragraph from the middle of the book somewhere. And it was like, what does this part of the book talk about X, Y, and Z themes and whatever? And I was like, I don't know the context. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh gosh.
And I wrote a page.
Just made up a page.
Yeah, I just made up stuff.
Yeah,
I was
no.
like,
In this
I don't know.
book.
And then this kind of happened. And then this, anyway, yeah. So yeah, completely botched my second English, first English. What's the difference between the
Well, like
first two? The first one's the one that everyone does, and the second
Yeah.
one,
no,
everyone does both of them.
everyone does both of them. It's like the first one is like the comprehension, like type things,
Yes.
and then you do like mod A, which is
Yeah,
like, yeah. Ours was a text, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
When you finished your exams, what did you do?
I just hung out with Bethany. Like
Okay.
we drove like one of our friends like home, like, and we were just all chatting in the car, and then we just kind of hung out.
I remember when I like had a friend at uni, and when we finished the uni exam, there was like, because we used to be at University of Western Sydney in Campbelltown, and on the way back on the M5, there's this McDonald's just off the freeway, like before it turns, like it takes that big sweeping right to go towards Sydney. And so we started developing a habit of just going to McDonald's and absolutely gorging on McDonald's after we'd finished an exam.
Awesome.
Like I'd get like a Big Mac, no, not a Big Mac, a quarter pounder, 6 nuggets, like a large, I think it was quarter pounder, a medium quarter pounder meal, plus a cheeseburger and 6 nuggets or something like that.
Yeah.
It was just
The dream.
like, we just smashed so much
That's so
food.
good.
I love that.
That's so good. It wasn't straight away. I don't remember what we did straight away, but eventually we went round to our mate's house and we burnt all of our HSC papers in a
Yeah.
big bonfire.
Wow, that's
It was
cool. I
excellent.
like
It was
that.
very fun.
Yeah. You know, I've always wanted to do that thing, but do it like the Viking funeral, like send it out on a raft and then
yeah.
fire a
Get
the
flaming
bow and
arrow
arrow,
at
yeah.
it
Yeah.
and set it on fire. But, you know,
That'd be epic.
I've
I
never
don't
been
have
able to
access
do
a
that.
boat that I can
Yeah.
burn.
Well, you got to build the raft and just send it floating out there.
Yeah.
You're right. That's genius.
That's genius.
Yeah. I went through like a massive purge of my room. Like I was
Yeah.
just chucking everything out. Like
Excellent.
there still is piles and piles
just
of
like-
things at my door. Because I was like every note, everything from like year 11 and year 12. And like there was some stuff from like junior years. But like there was just so much paper and I'm just chucking it out. I'm like, that's got to go. That's got to go. And it was,
You're punching a few textbooks in
Yeah.
the face.
Yeah.
and then I just like listed everything on like Facebook Marketplace, like all my textbooks.
Oh,
No one's
that's
bought
clever.
anything yet, but
Oh,
if
have
anyone
they?
needs any textbooks, feel free. Because
Genius.
that was
Come mention the podcast, you get a discount.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
What's the promo code, Macy? U12 is done.
Yeah. Hey, just see you later. That's what everyone posted on the story.
HSC you later.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's very good. What about, what would you do?
We'll put that in the description.
Hey, just see you
with
later.
a link to your Facebook
That's the
Marketplace.
title. Hey, just see you later. That's the title.
Yeah.
Looking back, and it's only been 2 weeks,
Yeah.
what's like the one thing you think you would change about what you did, even across year 11 and 12?
Oh.
I regret nothing.
No, I'm like mostly content. I think probably
That's good.
reaching out to like friends earlier and like good friends to like, you know, just be like, this is quite hard for me. Like I'm finding this year hard for me.
Right, okay.
And knowing that I wasn't alone in the fact that I was finding it hard. Like a lot of people find it hard. So like just finding it earlier that a lot of us are struggling and, you know, being able to do it with others. Like, you know, sometimes it was really hard. So just like being able to chat through and then be able to like, you know, we'd study and then have a little break and, you know, make sure everyone was okay, which was nice.
It's interesting, isn't it? Like when you may be struggling with something mentally that you think you're the only one dealing with it. Or even anything. You're like, oh, I'm the only one in the world that's dealing with this. And then to the exact point, you're like, oh, everyone is actually struggling in their own way, especially in the HSC, for example. Yeah, that's crazy. How did you, so do you just study at home and then how did you contact people? Are you chatting on
FaceTime? There was like a lot of FaceTiming.
Okay.
Which was like, like I think all my friends kind of got into a habit of it. Just we would FaceTime each other at random points of the day, and like, but it would be like someone was like getting ready for bed, so like they'd be like washing their face and stuff, and we'd just be chatting and stuff. Or like someone's unpacking the dishwasher, and you're just like, yeah, so how was your day? And they're like, hang on, sorry, hey mom, yeah. And they're like, it's just midway through,
great.
just chatting.
Yeah, right.
But like, I studied at the library a lot, and it was really awesome because if I was studying at Sutherland Library, there was always someone from church there. Like
really?
Tom Mules was always there.
Oh yeah.
Like Jack Wade, like there was always someone there.
Yeah.
And so like just having to chat with them and stuff.
Awesome.
And then, just.
Because that's not like, because it's not exactly your local. Like when I went and studied at Sutherland, everyone from Kirrawee High was also there.
Yeah.
But that would not be the same thing.
But it was better than like the Caringbah Library because it was like more quiet.
Yeah.
So, and
Wait, it was more quiet than Caringbah?
Yeah.
Caringbah is quiet.
Oh, Sutherland has that.
Like that quiet section.
reference
it does have
Yeah.
that whole spot. You're
at
right.
the top.
You're right.
But yeah, Caringbah doesn't really have that.
No.
No, that's fair.
And it's like all one big room, so it's kind of like always kind of noisy.
Yeah, okay. That checks out.
Yeah, the one for a quiet library I like is the State Library in the city. That's
Love
so
the
cool.
State
That
Library.
Mitchell Library. That's what's cool, I think, isn't it? That place is lovely.
It's so nice.
I was like, I just want to come back here because it's like super quiet.
Yeah. You know what another good library is? The Green Square Library. And it's like this, it's like half underground and there's like an indoor, outdoor like garden.
Huh.
It's so nice. And then it's got this like big like glass tower and each level is dedicated to a different thing. So it's like a reading room and stuff and it's just quiet. It's got the loveliest chairs.
Oh, wow, it looks mad. Like Ethan's just
It looks
looking up here.
stunning. This is, I like
I
the
need to go
circle
check
thing.
this out.
I want to go.
And like there's like a rainbow book wall and stuff and we would just sit in there and you could look out across.
So aesthetic.
So you went and studied there?
Yeah. It was really, I'd go with friends and stuff.
That's so awesome. I love that a lot.
Your best study.
Yeah, give us some hacks.
Because I was terrible. My study habits were really bad. I was just trying to memorize everything.
See, like we all became really good at like coming up with acronyms for things, especially in economics.
Yeah, okay.
Like it would be, you know, and I think the more wild they were, the more you remembered.
Yeah, of course.
Like the four factors of production is like labor, land, capital, enterprise. And we did like Lindsay Lohan craves ecstasy. And like that's how we remembered it. And so like you just remember it.
Yeah,
and
Of course.
That's good.
So doing that and like just chatting with friends and stuff, a lot of whiteboard. Like we would do like whole class essay plans on the whiteboard and like brains trust. Everyone would just be like spitting things out and it would be like a massive mind map. But just,
Wow,
I think it was
cool.
like, and then sticking to the syllabus and like making notes in the syllabus and practice papers, just so many practice papers.
Did you find year 12 to be really unifying for the cohort?
So I think as a culture, I come from a private all girls school. So
You go to Dane Bank.
you go to Dane Bank. So it's like we didn't like each other that much. Like there was like over the years, like we kind of had just like split and there was only like 75 of us.
Right.
So if there was an issue, everyone knew about it and like everyone had an opinion. And so, but also because, you know, we all wanted to do really well. So up until trials, we were all competing against each other because you get your ranks. So it was like who was coming first, who was coming second, like where were you? And after trials, everyone just started to get along because we all now needed to do well as a group to push ourselves up even higher. And so that's when we started to like, the last term was when we all really came together.
That's super interesting.
Which was nice. And like, you know, just hanging out with things. And even in the last week, like people were just going on the beach together, and it was like groups of people that you wouldn't see together, which was really nice.
Yeah,
and
it's really lovely.
And like, you know, we had all these different like parties and things, and we would just all hung out as groups of people that probably hadn't been friends in a long time and stuff. So it was nice.
That's really nice.
That's cool.
But yeah, I think it was, in the end, it was really unifying.
Yeah, okay.
And just like everyone was helping. Even before exams, everyone was just like throwing out quotes and telling each other things and like, you know, yeah, just building each other
Isn't
up.
that interesting if something that's like really quite stressful is actually can be a unifying thing rather than worrying about the, you know, or getting the stuff that probably doesn't really matter as much. And then, but when you're all like, oh, hang on, we need to do this together to make this work. Yeah. That's interesting. Did you find year 12 unifying?
Oh yeah, massively. And the whole time, like it was 2016 hit and we all got our jerseys. And once we got our jerseys,
it's also because you're
just
finishing school.
Yeah, it was just this, it was like, cool, we're done. Like all in a weird way, all the groups almost stopped being groups.
Yeah, right.
Like we had, and we like there was still groups. Like there was 100 and something of us. Like there was a lot of us. So it was a different vibe. But like there was still a lot of people I didn't hang out with as much. But at the same time, it's like, oh no, I know everyone and everyone's amicable.
Yeah.
Like there's gonna be the fight and there's the breakup and there's the like the issues that happened all throughout. But like we had, for example, a handball competition that went throughout the whole year.
Oh, that's awesome.
That had this really rigged ranking system that was set up by some guys that were sitting in English or maths or whatever. And they would sit there and they would like rank everyone on like handball. And that, we cared about that. We didn't care about our rankings.
Yeah.
Like there was no like, we're competing to get good marks by trials. It was not that. It was like, if anything was fierce, it was who can get higher in the handball rankings.
How many of you playing handball then?
Yeah.
There was like 40 of us. I think.
Whoa.
Like that's what I mean. Like it got
How big's your court though?
Oh, like we wouldn't all play necessarily at the same time. We wouldn't necessarily play like
on average. How big is your handball court? Like how many people
we
are playing?
6 square.
Only 6 squares.
Yeah,
okay.
We'd only play 6. And then we just have a really long line, and recess was just hanging out in that line.
Yeah,
Lunch was just hanging out in that line.
In the dunce line.
Yeah, that's what you did. You just hung out in the line, and then you got through, and and
there was
there was a little piece of paper on the pole with the list that got updated once a week or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah, it was hectic. It was so fun, and then at our final end of year graduation, the guy who started it all got an award. Like he got a big sillily sized tennis ball as his award for winning the
like a
handball
novelty
competition.
size.
Yeah,
Is that what you were
novelty.
trying
A
to
novelty.
say?
Yeah. But
Not
it's just
sillily.
like as in it's ludicrously big.
Yeah.
was the
right.
is where I was going. But
Sorry.
the word didn't come
It's
to my
just
brain.
the word was funny. Sorry.
It was I as I was saying it, I'm like, I'm just gonna go with it. It's not working. But yeah, like it was just this thing of like, no, we're all suffering together.
Yeah.
And so let's just hang out and whatever. So it was really lovely.
Yeah.
Also, our whole state was really unified, which was in a really cool way through this.
Like New South Wales.
Yeah, through
State of origin.
You're
talking
through a meme page that was on Facebook.
Right.
And so every single year 12 student in the state was on this Facebook page.
Oh, yeah.
And they just were just like every exam, everything. There was just memes happening all year. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Until this lady like snuck onto the Facebook group and wrote like a slam piece about our year and was just like, look at them. They're all just like no one's learning anything.
Lady, like a teacher? Or?
Like a journalist woman.
Oh.
Like jumped on and wrote a journal article, like an article in a magazine thing online that like roasted us completely.
Really?
And so unfortunately, with nothing better to do, a whole bunch of teenagers just like kept making memes, but they became about her. And like, it was just this awful onslaught.
Yeah,
that,
it was
like,
gonna be.
She left the internet. Like it was,
Wow.
it was atrocious. But at the same time, there was
It's
this like,
well, but also like, why go
Well,
there and
why
trash
would
people?
you shouldn't have. She
Yeah.
threw that. She threw a low punch,
She threw out the bait.
and they fought back.
Yeah.
En
Wow.
masse, and it was outrageous. But yeah, we had our local unifying moments, but then at
Yeah.
the same time, we're all a part of this bigger
Yeah.
thing together.
New South Wales memes page.
Yeah.
Like you would get off, you would finish an exam, and jump on Facebook, and there were already people had gone and found the stock photos that were in the exam and were like turning them into memes, or they were like it was
right.
amazing. It was
Wow,
so fun.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Just quickly going back to handball, in primary school, there was a section of my primary school that I reckon it was probably at least 14 squares, if not more.
Wow.
And then we'd like extended it all the way down.
That is excellent.
But they would do like these massive serves, like all the way down to the back, and you'd have to try and hit it.
Oh, that's
They were
awesome.
like bounce in your square, and you couldn't reach it. So then you'd end up getting out and stuff.
Yeah.
It
My
was
goodness.
crazy.
That's glorious.
But you could also use the wall and stuff. It was pretty cool.
That's epic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
pretty
fun.
hectic.
See, like at an all-girls school, we didn't do that. Like that was
Yeah.
That's-
It was like
that's
sit
really
at lunch.
disappointing.
So you did brandings, right?
yeah. We would just sit at lunch. It was really civilized. We like just sit and chat. Although year 12 we got a common room, and so that was like everyone had their little sections, and it was like all like done nicely and stuff. And we had a kitchen and stuff, but you could only fit like max like 3 people in the kitchen. But we just shoved so many people trying to heat up their lunch, and like
Of course, make the most of it.
And like there would be like a name and shame if you couldn't clean up after yourself. Then you would just be like, "Who put this dirty sink? Like who put the dirty spoon in the sink?
That's awesome.
I'm not your mum. Clean it up yourself." That's like,
so good.
that was kind of like, it was funny, and it was just like we would have raves in there because we found like this old like radio like stereo set, and someone like hooked it up to their computer, and so like they just turned it into like a club in like the
Wow.
thing.
That's pretty cool.
Because we were like so far away from anyone else, like there was like no teachers around. We were on the other side of the school in this room, so it was like just us just going wild.
What was the top song of choice?
Oh, I think it was like probably like a remix of like like "Freed from Desire." That was like that was a big one.
What's that song?
I don't know. It's like
Ethan's
We're just
looking
not
it up.
hip with the
I'm
kids.
not-
Very good.
"Freed from Desire."
Freed.
By who?
I don't know, but like
Gala.
yeah, that's it.
Gala Rosato. Freed from desire.
Play it,
My
bro.
love has got no money. He's got his strong beliefs.
Play it for a second.
Yeah,
Etc. Etc. Na na na. Oh, there's a whole na 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 bit. Excellent.
Oh no!
but like
no.
every party and stuff we all had, like this was played and everyone loved it.
Oh, this is old though.
Yeah, but someone
This
like
is like
remixed it.
90s.
This is 10 years ago when the music video came out.
No. Oh no! This is they play this at football games when they score goals,
Oh right,
and the whole crowd's like no.
like that was like a good remix. Everyone, yeah, it was just like real techno like club.
But you get
songs.
behind it. Like, no. Very cool. Epic. Right. HSC, it's done.
Yeah,
Do you what are your plans for the future? Even though you don't have to be locked into them,
Yeah.
the HSC isn't a be all and end all, Macy. Just making those things clear before we ask you the question. What are you doing next?
and your like identity isn't found in a number; it's found in
All that
Jesus.
stuff. Yeah.
That was like a big thing we got told, like the whole thing. Obviously, that's true.
It's
like
true,
I
though, but
solely
it's
believe
just-
that, but it was just like your
It's a-
identity. Like
It's a bit cringe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like every like we like show up to like year meetings, like girls, your identity's not found in a number; it's found in Jesus.
It's going to turn into a
But
meme.
has everyone wrote a study plan? And are you studying 12 hours a day?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like-
See, I think one of the positives that teachers found at a public school that was they could just straight up skip the first bit.
Yeah.
Just do the like, has anybody got a study plan? Because
Yeah.
we don't care about the other stuff. Like they cared, but
Yeah.
I feel like that's just like, it's just turned into a meme. It's like, but have you, your identity is found in Jesus, not a number. But have you gone to the toilet? Just like, I feel like that's what it would turn into.
But like, so the next couple months before uni starts, I like am intending to go to uni.
Yep.
Just seeing what the ATAR does, but I do have a spot at UTS, which I'm pretty happy with. I got a fair few early entry offers, which I'm really stoked with.
That's good.
So I think that was like a good confidence boost I needed because I was like, I didn't know if my year 11 marks were that good, but like I was like, I got heaps of early entry offers, so I was like pretty stoked with that.
Yeah, it's really lovely.
And so
It's a really good little confidence booster.
yeah. And so now I definitely want to go into economics. That's like some form of economics. That'll be uni. But the next couple of months, traveling a bit, which is exciting.
What does that entail? Where are you going?
So we leave on the 26th for schoolies, like
cool.
church schoolies. So that's our lovely Bible study. And we've all gotten so close to the past year. So I'm actually really looking forward to it.
Amazing.
It's very fun.
And then I come back. A couple days later, I go to Bali with like my mom and my sister, which is so exciting. And then I come back. I'm like literally like 2 days before Christmas. I leave to America by myself, and I'm gonna go hang out and stay with family up there, but also just like do a lot of snowboarding and just
because it's winter there, right?
Yeah.
So where are they? Where will you be going?
Denver, Colorado.
Okay. Hectic. Amazing.
So I'm really excited about that, and it's just
Up in the Rockies.
exactly yeah.
Very cool. That's
And-
lovely.
Yeah, so it's really exciting.
I like that. 3 holidays planned already.
I know.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I was keeping it super low
Living
key.
the
I was like,
dream.
oh, just like keep it low key, and then things so slowly just got out of.
It just like snowball.
Yeah, exactly. Just
It's the
more
right time to
things.
do it though.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Like
That's cool.
free.
Yeah.
The
No,
American
no.
Free from desire.
Free from
Free from
desire. no.
Oh, I closed
no,
it. It's
no.
gone. Oh no.
Just a quick update on Taylor Swift tickets.
Yeah, how's it going?
Nah.
Still in the queue.
Every 10 seconds it says next update in 10 seconds and then it like refreshes.
Wow.
So you've got your computer and phone running at the same time.
That is what's happening at the moment.
Wow.
Yes, there is a phone.
Wow.
I think it actually isn't real, like having them both. It isn't necessary because they run it by IP addresses. So it's the amount of things on it. Like it actually,
Yeah.
I'm just doing it for peace of mind. More
Yeah,
than anything
okay.
else to say that I've done it. And I had 2 screens open. But I have multiple screens from other people around the place who are being very helpful
Oh, that's nice.
offline. I
have many people in many places.
people in many places
Yeah.
helping me,
That's cool.
which is very lovely.
All right, let's ask the usual second
Yeah.
question.
I think that's a good idea.
Macy, how did you become a Christian?
So, I don't come from a Christian family.
Mm-hmm.
Both, like my parents are atheists and my sister. And
Are
so
they vocally
Yeah.
atheist? Okay.
I was telling them when I was going to film this morning, and they're like, oh, like you've really gone to the dark side now. And then
As if not going to church and
Yeah, I
doing
was
all that
like-
stuff.
I could be doing a lot worse things, but hey,
I
I'm
could
just going to.
lie on a podcast.
And then my sister once, like, she needed to be picked up. And so I was like, oh, well, I'm at church. So just come to church and I'll pick you up and take you home.
She did, I remember.
Yeah.
We had a chat with her, yeah.
And then she came in, she was like, wow, this is really nice for a cult. And like, in the way that like the church looks lovely.
That's really funny.
But yeah, and it
I
was
love
just
that
like,
a lot. It's awesome.
but yeah. It's
I enjoyed it. What's your sister's name? I forget, sorry.
Estelle.
Estelle. I enjoyed hanging out with Estelle. What is Estelle's dog or whatever you call it? What do you call it?
Oh, Stelzo.
Stelzo. That's it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed hanging out with her
Yeah.
that late night because she was really funny.
She's very funny.
She's very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Love her a
clip
lot.
that part and we can send it to her.
Yeah, just she won't watch the rest of it, but she'll watch some
Yeah,
bit.
that's right. So sorry, keep going about your family.
So went to like a public primary school, and so like kind of was introduced to like the whole idea of Jesus in like scripture and stuff. But like there was 3 like scripture type things. It was like the Catholics, the Protestants, and then like ethics, which was like, and so I was in the Protestant class, and like most of my friends were in the Catholic one because they were all intending to go to like the Catholic high school, and so they needed to do that. But
We go to De La Salle.
yeah. And so with the Protestant one, it was just more so like we're playing games, like, and just, you know, covering a couple basic like Bible things, but like we were just really just enjoying playing games and stuff.
Yeah, awesome.
But and then like I got invited to a youth group, so I ended up at a youth group and like consistently was going for like a solid year. And then year 7 and 8 came around, and I moved to Danebank for year 7, which is Anglican, and I was like, oh, like now I'm attending chapel every Monday, and like I do like Christian studies lessons, and I'm like getting tested on it, like you know, I'm doing these lessons weekly and stuff. So it was a lot more, so I was able to like understand more and stuff. But I just remember like there was a chapel talk in like I think year 8 or something, and there was like this tightrope walker that would like walk across like Niagara Falls with a wheelbarrow, and like we would stick people in a wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it in chapel, and then like our chaplain was like, it's like you have to give your life to Jesus, and you are like the person in the wheelbarrow, and you'll be the one, like you just have to fully give your life to Jesus and kind of lose that sense of needing to be in control and stuff. And I was like, and at that point I was like, I don't think I'm ready to do that. And so, but it always stuck in the back of my mind. And then I like took a break for a while, and I was just like, I don't think this Jesus stuff's for me. Like, okay, well, and then kind of lockdown hit, and that was like really hard for a lot of people. And so, and God had put into my life my boyfriend at the time, who came from a really big Christian family, big churchgoer, and like really loved Jesus. And so he was like, Macy, like, I think you should reconsider. Like, I think, you know, I like look to Jesus, and like, you know, you will find all the comfort you need in Jesus. And I think, and then I did, and I was just like, wow, like this is great. And then I started going to church and like going to our lunchtime Christian group. And I had always, every year I'd gone to like the Christian camp, like our school one and stuff. But I was like, yeah, like I'll keep learning, but I don't know if it's for me or not. And then I was like year 10 kind of hit, and I was like, yeah, I really want to live my life for Jesus. Like this is great. And then just, yeah. And then joined Soul Revival at the end of last year, and went from like not really going to church to like spending a lot of time.
a lot of time.
A lot of time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What became different for you once you actually did commit to wanting being a Christian? I remember my parents just saying, just make sure, or one of my parents maybe, I can't remember exactly, but like, I'll just get the piece of paper and then that's it. But it's like, but it didn't get like,
Yeah.
I think that's the thing I was talking about, like a lot of people going to uni, it actually guarantee you getting a better, a supposedly better job, which is better for the economy and better for society and things like that. But I think at some point, it's reached a point of there's not enough of that value coming out of that many people going to uni now.
Yeah.
And I think also the other thing with uni is the way that learning has changed. Like, if you want to learn anything, you just go on YouTube now. Like,
Yeah,
true.
I needed to change the fly screen on my fly screen door. I just went on YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a Bunnings video that taught me all of it, how to do it. I'm like,
yeah.
Can you send me a link?
you know what I mean? Yeah, absolutely.
Like anything I need to fix, I just Google it. Like,
Yeah. Or like if I'm learning something on video editing,
yeah.
someone's done it and recorded it and said, this is how you do it. Like, fantastic. That's how
Yeah.
you do it.
Totally.
So I think like the value of uni in that respect also is changing so much, but we still feel like we need to, like, there's this competing thing of like learning isn't as effective as it maybe it used to be. And of course there's good teachers and bad teachers. You know that from being at school,
Yeah.
and that happens at uni as well. But then there's this other thing of like, is it necessary to go to uni anymore? Like,
Yeah.
And again,
we need
I
to?
think it is. Like it is. There are still a
It
whole
is,
bunch of
yeah.
things where it is definitely necessary. I started, however, the first thing that kind of keyed me into it was I started work doing full-time video production and started working for a guy who got into it. He went to uni. He did 1 year, and while he was at uni, he was building drones, and then he was making heaps more money building drones. So he just dropped out of uni and was doing that. And then someone was like, hey, can you fly drones for me? And so he's now a videographer in this industry, and he builds drones and he flies helicopters. And that, like that's, and he's learning to fly a helicopter on the side because he's making so much money from all the other stuff he's doing that he can afford to learn how to fly a helicopter. And that's his dream. His dream was helicopter pilot.
oh wow.
And that was there all the time.
Oh.
I'm getting a phone call from someone.
Is it Taylor?
It might be. It might be. Beck Wall is calling me.
Oh,
this
let's
is
see.
so exciting. Beck, you're live on.
I
You're
might be in.
you're live on the podcast because I've been doing this while thingy. We've got
Hello.
Macy and Joel. Oh my goodness, Beck.
Also, Beck, we need to get you
don't
on.
be too
we
excited.
need to
Okay,
get
I'm
you
not too excited.
on the podcast.
I'm
Beck.
not too excited.
This is the tension.
Yeah, I
This is
know.
so
Wow.
exciting.
Tension, the drama, the buzz,
so
the crowd, the
stressed.
atmosphere.
You know, I've bought tickets for someone else before.
Mm.
It seems the phone. Oh,
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 hang
oh.
on.
I'm editing all of this out.
Okay, good.
I might fast forward it.
Yeah,
I might do a
let's
little.
edit this out.
Yeah.
I need to listen to me freaking out on the other side.
We're all panicking together.
Yeah.
Come on the podcast to freak out. Beck.
Yeah.
Sharing your like banking details.
Same.
Yes, it would.
So much pressure.
I feel like my life's not interesting enough.
Oh, come
No,
on.
that's what I thought. I was on the phone to Bethany. I was like, I don't think I'm actually that interesting. And then
It's
she was
such
like,
a girl thing to say too, though. You guys, I just can't stand it. I was talking to my hairdresser yesterday, and they just. Sorry, I need to.
Sorry, that was also the most girl thing you could have said.
Especially the way you say it.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, all right,
Totally.
Beck, far out.
Yay!
Hey!
Beck, you're amazing.
oh, that's awesome.
That's 3 from 3, guys.
Yeah,
That's,
that's crazy.
that's impressive.
Well done, Beck.
Oh, Katie's going to be so ecstatic.
Okay, I'll leave you to your podcasting, but Ethan, you are going to Taylor Swift.
Oh,
Wow.
Beck, you're amazing.
Very good.
I've let Katie know today is a good day.
All right. Enjoy, guys.
You're the
All right,
best.
see you,
Bye,
Thank
Beck.
you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Nice work.
Do we remember what we were talking about, or do you want me to ask another question?
Do you have a question?
I have a question. But
Go.
Okay.
Just rewinding away from the uni stuff
Mm-hmm.
real quick, because and just coming back to you becoming a Christian,
Mm-hmm.
and I was wondering, is there how did the people around you react to sort of the news, but the the potential change?
I think-
Being a Christian, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, so going to the cult. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
to the dark side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, turning to the dark side was exactly what I meant to say.
And
That's
then you're
awesome.
like, it's darkness into light, actually. Sorry, yeah. How did people react?
Because like being at a Christian school, there was like a lot of Christians around. Obviously, not everyone was a Christian, but like a lot of my friends at the time, I became closer to the Christians. Right. So like my friends weren't Christians, but I became closer and made closer friendships with the Christians in my grade. But also a big thing was like, we have like a Christian studies department at school. So there's all these teachers. And pretty much every teacher's a Christian, but like they teach like Christianity. And so just getting really, really close to them and stuff. And they would just like, I had like one-on-one like meetings that would just sit for like hours and just talk about, you know, all my questions. And they were just so lovely. I had a Christian studies teacher who was my studies religion teacher in year 11, 12. Her name's Mrs. Hartley. Love her to death. And so she's practically like my second mum. She once got like mistaken as my mum at some school function. Like I was talking to her and some parent goes, "Oh, is this your daughter?" And I was like, "No, she's just my teacher." Like we're
That's great.
But like just her, like everyone was just so encouraging and just was so open to sit and chat for hours. And just like, because not coming from a Christian family, like didn't know, like I wasn't told, like, you know, everyone learned all this, like all these like stories when they were growing up and stuff, and like had it modeled to them of like how, you know, being a Christian and like, you know, living life as a Christian. I didn't have that modeled to me at home. So being able to get that from teachers and friends and like friends' parents and stuff, that was like really nice. And just everyone was really encouraging. And yeah, like I think, yeah, just like Christian lunchtime groups and stuff. And like Beth and I went on to start like a Bible study at lunch just for year 12. So we had our like lunchtime group, but then we also had a Bible study where we would just like dive deeper into books of the Bible and just really like encourage one another and stuff. And it was just really nice. Like I went from, not believing to like do it a lot with, you know, because it was just so exciting to have Jesus in my life. And I just was so excited to share that, and still am so excited to share that with so many people.
Yeah, good on you.
On the that's really cool. It brings me all the joy. On the having all these new people modeling what being a Christian is like, was there a certain part of that, like all these people living different ways of life, that impacted you more than others? Or
like I think definitely like my boyfriend at the time, just having him like always, like it would just be like we'd pray before bed, like we'd be on the phone and like we'd be like, you know, pray to end the call and like before bed and stuff. And just like it was less of like, you know, this distant God. It was like it's relational. And you like at any point you can just chat to him. And there would just be times like, you know, like sitting at home, like doing work, and I'm like just chatting, or like for an exam, and it was just like praising him, like thanking him, and just like asking for things, but also just finding that comfort. And like even just like getting things off my chest and just like chatting, it was just like just to God, and it was just like, you know, so seeing how people took their faith and modeled it in their lives, and like different ways of like how it impacted the way that they view others. Because, you know, it was no longer like, oh, this girl like gets on my nerves, like she's so annoying. It's like, well, no, she's made in the image of God. Like she's just as much loved as I am. And she might have, you know, done things in the past to me, but we're all sinners. And so she's just as sinful as I am. So I think being able to like forgive, and like it was a whole thing of like forgiveness, and just be able to like move past it. And it was just like turning over a new leaf and stuff. Wow. Which is something I still struggle with. And like, you know,
like holding on to stuff.
Yeah. Like just, and just things.
Or think someone's like upset you.
Yeah. Okay. And then just like holding on for a bit. But like, I think also sometimes if like, if you take a step back and you're like, no, it's okay. We all make mistakes, and that mistake doesn't define a person. My mistakes don't define me. Like, you know.
Or your ATAR.
Yeah, my ATAR doesn't define me too.
It's a beautiful thing of perspective though, right?
Yeah,
like,
it is.
It's so good.
It's so
just,
awesome.
It's so freeing, because it's like actually doesn't matter how
Yeah.
good or bad I am, and it doesn't matter how good or bad they are.
Yeah.
Like, and yes, it impacts me.
Yeah.
And yes, it impacts them. But at the end of the day, like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
exactly.
It's
And I
very
love
cool.
the image of God thing that you talked about, how it changes your perspective of how you think about other people.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I've come to realize over time is that, yeah, like God made that person, and unfortunately they're sinful and just as sinful as I am.
Yeah.
And so you do, I think you do. Sorry if anyone that I haven't done this, if they're listening to the podcast, but I think you do try and treat, or at least try and treat people differently because of that. And I think that's a
Yeah.
really great point. And I think it's a big encouragement to people that might even be like, listen, this might be even the same situation as you, like go to an all-girls school or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, like again, I say this almost every podcast now on the Chip Lunch, is that this is why
Yeah.
we ask people to come on, is because it's similar to when you're saying things you were struggling with, and then when you talk to someone else about it, you found
Yeah.
out they were struggling with the same thing. It's the same thing, even sharing positive things is like,
Yeah.
or negative things on the podcast is, oh, I was like that.
Yeah.
And I can hear how God's changed Macy's life, for example,
Yeah.
or Ethan or Joel or someone else's. It's
Yeah.
the same thing. There was one question I wanted to ask you though, was you said that you really enjoyed having some kind of Christian mentors at school and other
Yeah.
places, which is great. And you said there was some Christian studies leaders that would sit with you and answer all your questions. Can I ask, like, what were some of the big questions that you had?
It's a good question.
Just like, I think like a lot of the controversial like topics in the church and stuff,
Yeah.
because like I came from a family that like, you know, was like,
You're still part of that
yeah,
family.
I am. And I love my parents so much.
Yeah, I know.
I, like,
I just wanna
don't
make
get me
that
wrong,
clear.
love my parents
Yeah.
incredibly much. They're just amazing people.
They have a different point of view, especially
they have
you said
very-
they were quite,
yeah.
they're not really for religion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I love my family so much, but we just have different views, and mine have slowly changed over the years as I've dived deeper into the Bible and what like the Bible says and
Yeah.
stuff.
And compared to what you're growing up in.
Yeah, exactly. And so just like big like topics of just like, you know, like marriage and like sexuality and
Yeah.
all that stuff. I hold different opinions to them.
Mm.
And so understanding, like, because I had to like kind of sort of not unlearn them, but understand why why the opinion is. Like,
And can you like kind of break
yeah.
it down?
Yeah.
You've got to try and understand what does the Bible say about that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not like, oh, like we believe this because the Bible says so. It's like, why? What's the meaning? What's the deeper like understanding? You know, like really break it down, and because every decision has like a purpose and a meaning behind it. It's not just like, oh, like, you know, we don't have sex before marriage. Okay. Just because that's something to do.
Yeah, let's not ask why and talk
Yeah.
about it. Yep.
And so like to understand more and stuff, which was like, you know, and I just had, teachers and stuff that would just sit with me for hours to.
Has that helped you engage with your parents and your family about
Yeah.
it more? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think like I feel more equipped to like explain like, and stuff. And like, there'd be times like, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm like gonna go to church and stuff. And it's like, are you like really into this Jesus thing? And like, I went from being embarrassed about it to be like, yeah, I am. Like, I'm like, I really am into this Jesus thing because he saved my life. Like, you know, I now am just experiencing the comfort and love of the Lord, and just I was living my life in darkness and now I'm in the light, which is just so exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm still not amazing at telling my parents about that,
Yeah.
but I'm just like getting better and stuff. And I think,
I think it's similar for me. Like similar, I came from a non-Christian family and a similar thing. And I think
They're still your family, Joel.
yeah, they are
They
still your
are-
family.
they are still my family. And I love them very much, just as you said.
Yeah.
But you've grown up in that for a long time. And
Yeah.
as a child, and I would say this as
Yeah.
now as a parent, your children, like, I like this word, imbibe everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, they're listening to everything you're saying to them. They're following all your actions. So
Yeah.
then, like, I'm just trying to think of it from your parents or my parents' perspective to see you or I challenge that
Yeah.
so much must be pretty disconcerting for them, I think.
Yeah.
But I think I've seen over time that my parents have seen the positive impact it's had on me and how much I care about our church community and my children and all those things you're talking about, for example, with the being in the image of God.
Yeah.
And it'd be an interesting thing to kind of break down a little bit more at some point of going like, how do non-Christian parents like struggle and adapt to having their son or daughter become a Christian?
Yeah.
Like it must be pretty hard, I think. And it's very different for my children growing up in a Christian home now compared to what you or I grew up in.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you got any thoughts on that? Like,
Yeah.
your parents warming to it a little bit, or they're still like, you're on the dark side? You should just say,
I think
I'm going to the light side. Thank you.
I think they're still like kind of trying to get their head around it. But like, Mum was enjoying the fact that I was like going to church because like I was meeting new friends and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like hanging out with more people. But then
Sort of benefits.
Yeah, but then she was like, "Oh, like it's getting a lot. Like you're spending a lot of time at church." But it was just like sometimes like the highlight of my week, like a lot of the time, the highlight of my week is going to church. It's just like last week, heaps of people, like heaps of my friends at church were like out and doing things, and I was like, "Oh, what a bummer!" Like I actually really wanted to see everyone. So like I was like really looking forward to dinner with everyone. But I think it's also my parents. They have two completely different daughters. Like Estelle and I are so different. Like it's incredibly like we get along so well and we love each other incredibly a lot. But like they both sent us to, Dane Bank and one of us became a Christian. The other one doesn't really care that much for it and, just completely different values and stuff. And we both were raised in the same house. So I think like it's just seeing how different their parenting and like their decisions, like the two different outcomes and stuff. But yeah,
because they would probably say, "Well, we parented them the same."
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
How far apart are you both?
2 years.
Yeah. Weird.
Oh, it's weird that they're so different.
Well, it's just reflecting on the nature of the fact that siblings can just turn out totally different despite such a similar. Like despite being only 2 years apart, and despite being both girls, and despite being like there's so many things that should line up to be the same person.
Yeah.
But that's not how we end up, and it's really lovely. Actually, it's kind of cool that it shows that if even these two people who are possibly statistically going to be the most likely to be like each other are not like each other, like it just shows that of course you're going to be different.
What's a crazy fascination for me is like what genes or personality God chooses for us to have. Like I look at even my son and daughter, they're very
so
different people. But they like my son Leo went to square one last weekend. She missed him the whole weekend.
Oh, of course she did.
Like,
that's lovely.
Yeah, it's just like so special to see. Like, and it kind of sounds like it's similar, like with you and Estelle. It's you can be so different, but you're like, I want to spend time with them. Yeah, that's cool.
And like, we'll be like driving to school, and just be like chatting away, and just chat for hours, and like just can chat, and then like, my like playlist, like all my playlists, a lot of them have like a lot of Christian songs and a couple like non-Christian songs, and I'll like play them in the car, and so I was like jamming out to like Lauren like Daigle, and she was just jamming out, like Estelle was like belting it out, and I like that. She's like, "Oh, I really love this song." I'm like,
that's so good.
I love that.
Yeah, that's really cool. We probably should wrap it up, but final question.
Yes.
And you're only 18, is that right?
Not even
18, right? Okay. So, what do you wish you knew that you know now?
Yeah.
What do you wish you knew as a younger Christian? Because it's only been a few years that you've been a Christian for, but it'd be fun to get your answer on this.
It is so fine that you don't know everything.
Oh, okay.
Because I would be sitting there and I'd be like everyone knew all these stories from Sunday school, and I was like, I have no clue. Yeah. And like everyone knew all these verses, all these songs. Like I led on a little kids Christian camp, like a crew camp. And like everyone, like all the leaders and all these kids knew these songs. And I was like, I didn't grow up in Sunday school. So I have no clue what these songs are and stuff. And so I kind of felt like a bit out of place, but then I was like, no, I'm not. Like, you know, I'm perfectly content with like, you know, it's okay that you don't know everything. And even talking to my friend yesterday, like she was just like, why does God allow suffering and stuff? And I was like, I don't have the best explanation for you, but I can give you an explanation. I can read up on it, come back to you. Like, you know, it's okay not to know everything. And it's not a contest of who knows the most about the Bible. Like when we get to heaven, it's not a pop quiz and like,
it's not an ATAR.
It's not an ATAR. It's like you're not getting a score to get into heaven.
Yeah, your identity's not in your number.
Exactly. And then, like, you know, you're saved through Christ, not through your knowledge. Like, you know, if you can recite, you know, the whole thing of Genesis to me, that's great. I can't, but I'm still going to heaven, and that's awesome. And so just not having to know everything and not being like the most knowledgeable on the Bible and on like my faith. It's okay because, you know.
I think your ability to let that go though almost causes you to want to know more anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's flipping it around.
Yeah.
So then when you go, it's okay if I don't know, but I want to know more.
Yeah.
Like, then you're more like it's like a more willingness to learn anyway.
Yeah. And so like when I'm, you know, reading my Bible or like listening to podcasts or like going through devotions and stuff, or like reading up on different sides and stuff or like what different perspectives, it's not because I have to know because that's going to make me a better Christian. It's because I genuinely love Jesus and I want to dive deeper into my faith and grow stronger in my relationship with him.
Yeah.
It's purely because just me and him. It's not because I need to impress my friends because I can't look like that, like the Christian that knows nothing. Like, you know, I don't need to look like the strongest Christian out there. It's like, yeah.
I think it's really powerful that it does come back to relationship.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, as you were saying, you can be, there's a guy who is a historian that I really like. His name is Tom Holland and not the Spider-Man. And he has a really interesting opinion about Christianity. And he reckons, one of the things he reckons is that like Jesus is the most important thing to ever happen to humanity ever. Like, that's what he reckons.
But he's not a Christian.
He's not a Christian.
Yeah, wow.
He knows the content back to front.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that relationship with this Jesus who he thinks is so important.
Yeah.
And so that's just the other end of that spectrum, right? Of someone who is so deeply entrenched in knowledge of the historicity of the historical Jesus. Yeah. But not the relationship with the historical God of the world. And it's really beautiful that that's what matters. Yeah. It's not the head knowledge. I think it's really cool.
Did you feel pressure to know everything, like because you came from a non-Christian family, became a Christian, and then like people are asking you all the time, so you felt like you needed to know all the answers? Yeah.
I like felt that I just like I needed to be able to justify like what I believe because it wasn't my parents' faith that they had passed on to me. It was like I had willingly sought out to make this decision for myself, and it was almost like I sought out extra because I wasn't being taught it at home, so I was actively listening at school, and I was like actively like looking into it and stuff. Yeah, it was all because of that. So I felt like I had to justify why I made that decision to everyone because everyone was like, well, this is really odd, you know. It's strange. Changed. Yeah, a bit strange of like a decision, like, you know. Yeah. But and like back to what you were saying about like the Tom Holland and stuff. I was chatting to my friend yesterday and we were painting for 6 hours, you know, just chatting. And she was just like, don't know how anyone could ever be an atheist. Like there is so much evidence that points to God. This is my friend that just like has never walked in a church like before. She's just been at Daybank, but she's just like, yeah, there's definitely a God and there's definitely Jesus. But So we're hoping to bring her to church, but like having that just and
So powerful.
chatting and stuff and just being able to understand like people's different sides is like awesome. Yeah, just
That's really special.
Can I ask one more question?
I'll go for it.
You've a couple of times you've mentioned being content. Is that something you've struggled with, and has Jesus really helped you with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I only say that because you just mentioned it a couple of times,
Yeah.
which is great because I
Yeah.
think sometimes I've struggled with that.
yeah. I think I'm just someone who like really has a thing for being in control. Like I've
you
had
said that, yeah.
always had that for a while.
Yeah.
And I still struggle with that now.
Yeah.
It's just like knowing that like can't control everything. And like even when I'm organized, like think people like for formal people were organizing like how we're getting there and stuff, and that was out of my control. And so
You found that hard?
I found that hard. It was just like, oh, like, and like it wasn't entirely perfect. So I'm just sitting here like, oh, like
I want the
how-
stretch Hummer.
Yeah, like they were like, so we're gonna start at this house and go to this house. I'm like, oh, the timeline, like it's not working out. Like, it's like in my head, I just can't do this. But like knowing that like God's got it, I'm fine.
Yeah, be able to give that to God.
Yeah,
is-
and just and that's why like the wheelbarrow thing has just come. It always comes back.
yeah.
Like I mean, I've listened to chapel talks every Monday for 6 years now. I can tell you a few of them, but that's the only one that's really
Yeah.
stuck out.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're great,
Oh,
but that one would just really, really spoke to me. And so,
that's a good story.
Did you find that moment when you're like, oh, I'm trying to be in control too much, and
Yeah.
then like when you go, I'll just give it to God.
yeah.
And then you're like, is it freeing? I
Yeah.
find it, yeah,
And just like
free from desire.
free from desire. Just like wanting to hold it all, and you just like it's too much for you to carry. Like you just have to lay all your burdens down and just and be content, which is still something I so struggle with, but
Yeah, I think
I'm
we all
working on
do.
it.
Yeah.
And it's such a great feeling just being able to let go and you know,
You just feel like lighter.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
No, that's very cool.
that's a good way to finish.
Very,
Yeah,
very
that was a
good
good
finish.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for
Stacey.
having me.
It's been great, hey?
It's been great.
It's been really fun. Really had a good
Yeah.
time.
Thank you. I
And-
love this.
Yeah.
Good vibes.
Good vibes. Very encouraging.
Thank
too.
you.
I'm going to keep that wheelbarrow analogy in my head.
Yeah?
though, too. Yeah, definitely. That'd be
Okay.
helpful. But yeah, it's been really great to have you on and hear how Jesus changed your life so much in just even a short period of time.
Yeah.
And we had talked about, deepening your knowledge. I think you're going to do that, but I think you're going to change, like keep changing even
Yeah.
more. And you've only just finished your HSC, as we've said.
I know.
So there's plenty to
The
come.
world's my oyster. That's what we keep saying.
Exactly right.
Very much free from desire. Can we finish with that song, or you just do one way, everybody? One way. That was good, Macy.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
really
You
enjoyed
killed
that.
it. That was
Thank you.
great.
Let's get no money. He's got his strong beliefs.